Hello everybody, my name is Mike Brown, aka ReviewKingMB, and you know I had to do this. I had to sit down and talk about Jessica Jones, which is the latest Marvel TV show to have showed up on Netflix, which I can't stress enough how happy I am with this Netflix deal that they have. The fact that we don't have to wait. Once they release it, you can watch it at your own pace. You can binge watch it like I did, just non-stop watching after watching, especially with their Netflix shows compared to their movies, Marvel's movies, or even their Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. TV show. This stuff is so different, so dark, that I can't help but keep watching. I couldn't imagine having to wait week after week for each episode, so let me just praise that by itself. So Jessica Jones is a character that, well, I was aware of her from the comic books. I knew she existed. I knew about her relationship with Luke Cage, but not much more than that. So watching this show was a big plus for many reasons. The character Jessica Jones we see is played by Krysten Ritter, who is a private investigator. She lives in New York. She lives in like a crappy apartment. So it seems like she's either running from something or she has a dark past. You eventually find out it's both, especially involving this guy, Kilgrave. And you see that she's very messed up about this. She's getting visions and flashes of memories of her past with this guy. At first, he's very much a mystery. We don't exactly know, but she's damaged from it. At the same time, though, we get those damaged moments with her, but she is still very much a strong character, a badass character, and a quick-witted character. She has a lot of funny one-liners. You could tell she has that whatever attitude, doesn't really let things get to her. Now, I really like Krysten Ritter as this character. I didn't see her on Breaking Bad. I haven't watched that show. I know I'm that guy who hasn't watched Breaking Bad. But the other times I have seen her in movies and shows, it was like comedy stuff. So it's pretty interesting to see her play such a dark, serious character with all of this gritty atmosphere and tone going on, and just the subject matters are very dark. So I think she pulled that off great. The fight scenes when she has them are also great because you see her, she's a skinny girl. I mean, she's tall, but she's skinny. She doesn't look like somebody who's going to kick, I don't know, 5-6 guys' asses, but she does because she has special abilities, or gifts, as this show calls it. When they said gifts, I said, holy crap, is she a mutant? She's not a mutant. She got these powers through an accident when she was a kid. And so, again, very interesting character. I liked her. She has sort of a stepsister, I guess, somebody that she grew up with, Trish, played by Rachel Taylor. And I like her character too, more so because she's there for her. She's trying to help her out. Jessica wants to keep her away. She doesn't want her getting hurt. David Tennant, though, as Kilgrave. Man, oh man, I love this character. I love this villain. You know, some people will complain and shit on Marvel for having crappy villains, and it's not something that I completely agree with, but I can't completely disagree with it either. I get it. They haven't had the strongest villains in their movies, but with their TV shows, you look at Kingpin for one, and then Kilgrave. And I don't know if it's because it's a TV show, we have so much time to flesh them out. It starts off at the beginning, very mysterious, very evil. When you hear about the things that he can do, that he has done to Jessica, he's a mind controller. That's his abilities. And he, like, if he tells you to do something, you have to do it, even if you don't want to do it, even if it's completely against your will. He will make you do whatever the fuck he wants, and he does some evil, deplorable things. You only maybe find out half the stuff he had Jessica do, so you see how much she hates him. He was a scary dude, but he was a fascinating character as well, especially because you start to wonder whether he's telling the truth about a lot of his past and backstory. Very charismatic guy as well, as evil as he is. It's David Tennant, great actor. I really enjoyed him as this character. Now we have Mike Colter as Luke Cage. Luke Cage is a character I've been waiting for Marvel to do in live action for quite a while. He was one of those guys who, I mean, maybe the times that I've seen him show up in cartoons or like Marvel video games, he's always like the side guy, right? He comes in, helps out Spider-Man or something, but he's this big, huge, ginormous black guy. This guy is perfect. He's great. He looks the part. He's a pretty good actor. I like his backstory, why he is where he is, and how him and Jessica come together. I knew that in the comics they get married and have a kid and whatnot. This show, it's interesting to see two characters that you know are supposed to be together, to see how they get together. I should mention maybe some of the action, because this show isn't so heavy in CGI. In fact, there's hardly any CGI. A lot of it's practical effects, similar to Daredevil. But these are characters that have superpowers, abilities, and they don't use CGI. It's amazing. I loved the fighting that went on. Luke Cage and Jessica, whenever they would fight large group of guys, and they would just like easily, especially Luke Cage, just he's getting hit off the head and he's not reacting to it. He's nonchalantly throwing guys over. Hope is a girl who, her parents came to Jessica, she's a private eye, and they wanted her to look for her. And Jessica soon realizes that she was taken by Kilgrave, and Kilgrave makes her do some deplorable things. She ends up in jail, and Jessica, her whole motivation throughout the whole season is to save this girl, is to prove that she's innocent, that she didn't really mean to do what she did. It was all Kilgrave. Her trying to prove to people, her attorney especially, that there's a guy out there who can mind control is pretty funny, because almost nobody believes her. They have to find out the hard way. It is interesting though, her attorney, for example, was played by Carrie-Anne, who I liked a lot. But it's almost funny that in a world where the Avengers happened, and they do mention the incident, the alien attack, a big green dude running around, like they mention the stuff, but this show is so gritty and real, even with superpowered people, that it's just, you know, you still have to convince somebody that somebody can mind control somebody. Now, Carrie-Anne Moss, she did have her own side plot going on where she was cheating on her wife, and they were going to get a divorce. It's not that I was bored by it, but I was just wondering, okay, like what does this have to do with the main story? I was wondering, until you eventually see that, no, we had to see all of this with her, because it shows what kind of person she is, what her way of thinking, her motivation when it comes to certain moments in the show. So yeah, Will Simpson is a character who, he comes in, he gets mind controlled by Kilgrave to kill Trish. And he's a cop, by the way, he's a sergeant. So Jessica is able to sort of advert this, but he becomes a guy who's completely obsessed with the fact that this happened, and he feels horrible for it. And there's a lot of twists and turns with his character, and I'm fascinated by the character. There's Malcolm. He is Jessica's neighbor who's a drug addict, but he too has a lot going on with his past stuff. Speaking of neighbors, there's this brother and sister who live upstairs, and I don't know what's really going on. There's moments where it looks like maybe they're actually involved in ways that I don't want to think about. It's very weird, but there is a lot of creepy and funny moments with the brother especially. So yeah, I don't want to say much more about this. This is great. The show's awesome. Is it better than Daredevil? I've seen some people online who were quick to say it's better than Daredevil. I would say it's just as good. Not better. I don't want to say better, because Daredevil had the luxury of hitting me with that surprise. I was so surprised by how much I enjoyed it. This, I had a lot of anticipation, but it lived up to my anticipation. I would definitely recommend this if you somehow haven't already watched it. Thanks for watching. Let me know in the comments below if you have watched Jessica Jones. What do you think of it? Like, comment, subscribe. Later!